496-5555, Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
And it's a good thing because for a lot of people right here in Duval, the sky is falling. Same old, here we go again. Relax, relax, relax. Don't do it. Grab yourself a scotch. Grab yourself something that will take the edge off. If you're like me, and you're sober, and you're going to remain sober for the next couple of hours, let's try to work our way through it. Look at the good, look at the bad. Overreactions? Absolutely. But I was getting it in-game. I was getting it post-game. I got it Sunday where I comfortably ran from the weather, and Matanzas was rocking. The beers were flowing. I am not a driver, but I am a drinker. I have a GF who does not drink, and it's like the most wonderful experience of my adult life. But I was getting it then. I'm getting it again today. And you got something now. You got a tape. You got an opportunity to look at things that you did well. You got an opportunity to look at some things you did not do well. But I would caution you to just calm down a little bit if you can. Hey, the defense sucked. There's no other way to say it. And you can say that they were vanilla. You could say that they were playing off the ball, that they didn't show anything exquisite. Still, you allow Mason Randolph and a bunch of backups to go right down the football field against you. That is without any question the biggest problem that did happen during the scrimmage on Saturday night. But we're going to look at everything, including the offense, which, you know, that is my biggest complaint. For those who have listened regularly over the years, I do thank you. But you know that we all have things that, are very important to us and that we think can make a major difference in a 60-minute game. I have always been about that opening drive. And the Jaguars came out and put together a 12-play, 44-yard drive. They took 7 minutes and 19 seconds off the clock. They had to settle for a field goal because of penalties, but still, look at what they did. 7 minutes and 19 seconds. They killed half the clock and got 3 points. Now, in a perfect world, you want 7. In a perfect world, you don't want penalties. In a perfect world, you don't want Trevor throwing what I keep seeing as a quote-unquote hospital ball to Brian Thomas Jr. You want 7. You didn't get it. Still a heck of a lot better than what this football team did a year ago. Unfortunately, the trait they fell right back into was what? And this typically was talked about as they tried to come back and win games late in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter. That is called complementary football. When the offense does its job, you need the defense to come out and do its job, and vice versa. So, again, it wasn't perfect by the offense, but you still took half the game clock. You ran 12 plays, and then you come out defensively. Complementary football would be what? A 3-and-out. Or complementary football, maybe you give up a first down. Maybe it takes 5 plays, 6 plays, whatever. But you get off the field. And then you give the ball right back to the offense. We know in this situation, the offense only got one opportunity on Saturday night. That starting defense, for the most part, a couple of players sprinkled in the contain, but basically got one drive defensively. That's alarming. If this team is going to take the next step, they are going to have to play together as a unit. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it felt like a year ago, the offense and the defense didn't like each other. How many times was it, late in the season where the defense would go force their opponent to go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. The offense finally scores, right? And you can win the game, and you need a defensive stop. And there was no way they were going to get it. They gave up points, or the exact opposite. You know, the offense keeps coming and getting points and getting back into the game. The defense makes stop after stop after stop. They make another crucial stop. Then you get the ball back offensively once again where you have to score, and you weren't able to do it. That's a big part of all of this, playing complementary football. And that was anything but on Saturday night. We're going to look at this on the other side of our first break. I do want to tell you that day 13 did take place early this morning at the Miller Electric Center. No pads. And, you know, it was a really rather interesting situation to see 40 plays that were called by the Jaguars offense. And they lined all 11 up. And what they do they would call a play. There were times where they would either, they would audible and change a play, snap the ball, and then immediately the referee would blow the whistle. So, you know, we asked Liam Cohen, what's going on? Why did you do this? And he's unhappy about the 8 penalties. He's unhappy about what happened. 2 penalties on one play. You had 3 penalties by your first team offense, during that 12-play drive. So even though it was a little bit bizarre to me, because this went on for close to a half hour, in my opinion, the other side of it is this is a problem. And you play the way that you practice. What was it, a week ago today or a week ago Tuesday, I think? The Jaguars offense had 5 false start penalties or 5 offensive line penalties last Tuesday. Early on Wednesday, they had a couple of more offensive line penalties. It got better throughout the course of the week. But we saw what happened on the very first play. I mean, Anton Harrison, and I've heard that it was, Harrison who moved too early. I heard that perhaps it was Trevor Lawrence who, didn't get the ball when he was supposed to, that, whether it's on Trevor or it's on Anton Harrison, the bottom line, it can't happen. It can't happen. You can't start the game with a penalty. You can't go from 1st and 10 to 1st and 15. It'll kill you. I'm just sitting there in the box thinking, here we go again. Same deal. The offense is not ready. They're never ready when a game begins. And guess what? They shaped up for the most part because they did drive the field and they put up a field goal. Again, hurt by those 2 penalties. I think they called it on Walker Little. I want to say the block in the back was actually on Ezra Cleveland. But, brother, you can't do that. And I don't even know what else to say outside of that. And the belief is that they're aware of it. So what they did today is said, watch this. We're going to run 40 plays. And it's all going to be about getting in the right position, understanding the play that is being called, understanding the cadence, snap the ball, blow the whistle. Never seen anything like this for this long of a period. And it was really, honestly, almost the highlight of this Monday edition without any pads. Couple of other notes. Tyson Campbell did not work today. Undisclosed injury. He did not have a good game on Saturday night. All of a sudden I look at their contain and it's wounded. Christian Braswell on the other side of Jarian Jones. Those are your starters, especially on a Travis Hunter offensive day, right? Buster Brown is out. Tyson Campbell is out. And in this case, Travis Hunter is out. So your starting corners are Christian Braswell and they are Jarian Jones. I thought Christian Braswell last year had a super camp. And I thought he was going to make the team. He did not. He was on the practice squad. He's done some other good things this year. He's given up some plays, but he's also been very active. But that's where you are right now as far as, your starting corners. Then Anton Harrison had a personal day. That's all that was mentioned by Liam Cohen when he spoke with us after the practice. The right tackle today was Patrick McCarry, which is interesting because he did not play on Saturday night. Harrison did, as we just pointed out. And Ed Oga, got the start at right guard. He worked at right guard again today. It really feels like it's going to be difficult to knock him out of the starting five, Chuma Ed Oga. And, of course, Cole Van Lannon, your swing tackle from a year ago, is not available right now for the Jaguars. So more moves today. Those two are out, Tyson Campbell, Anton Harrison. We will see if they're back at it tomorrow morning as the Jaguars get at it tomorrow. And let me say this before the break. I think tomorrow's practice is huge. It's a practice in pads. Then they're off Wednesday, and then they're going to scrimmage. Their practice is going to be scrimmage-like on Thursday. So the next 2 days are going to be very important, in my opinion, for this football team. And, of course, they get ready to go out to New Orleans and play a game Sunday at 1 o'clock. All right, opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Always a pleasure to talk about them. And if you're dealing with a situation right now with your eyes, whether it's pollen, allergies, no matter what it may be, just go to shmunezvision.com and get the very latest. And, it's time for you to get an update, an eye examination. Get the very latest, figure out what's going on with your eyesight. You could be a candidate for laser eye surgery. Imagine that. Imagine never having to deal with contacts again, passing out with them on or looking late night or wherever it is for your readers. I'm talking about laser eye surgery. So you've got Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt. You're talking about well more than 30 years worth of surgery experience with the same three that will take you through the entire process of surgery if needed. Make an appointment today. Go to Shmunez Vision. You can also go to Instagram and get the very latest at Shmunez Vision. All right, we got a ton to do. Really excited about this show. We got a lot to look at as to what did transpire on Saturday night. The best way to join us is the text line. 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
He tackles talk radio like a middle linebacker in the gap.
I tell it like I see it, and I see it like a middle linebacker.
Tommy Mack. Fridays on Jaguars Today. Unsealed by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through August 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Got a cracked windshield? Not only is it dangerous, but did you know it's also illegal? Call Baker Glass. Mack and his crew use the best auto glass in the market, and they accept most insurance. Plus, all new windshields come with a full warranty. From cars, to trucks, to RVs, you can count on Baker Glass to be fast and friendly. Just check out their Google reviews. Come see us at the shop on Cassa Avenue, or we can come to you at your home or business.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better. XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Have you ever dreamed of owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Well, now you can. Frank Frangie here for the farm at Okefenokee, just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkestone. With only 250 cabins at full build-out, it's a rare chance to live off-grid, but not alone, in a community grounded in nature, food, and purpose. Explore trails, kayak Blackwater creeks, or harvest from your own land. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
Let's get the work done.
Training camp is here.
Up, quick feet.
1010XL's training camp coverage is backed by Roland Reach Plumbing and Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Go, here we go. Let's go. It's live now. Let's go.
The Coke Zero Sugar 400 returns as the NASCAR Cup Series regular season finale. Answer this question for a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 August 23rd. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010 for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's great to be back here on the home of the Jaguars. Big week. Big practice tomorrow morning. Got to get back that focus. Trayvon Walker telling us the up-tempo got him. Now they weren't ready for the up-tempo. I mean, I don't know. It's it just felt like there was a lack of juice. It felt like they were out of position. And I get it. It's vanilla, and that is the way it's going to be, at least early on. But yeah, that was just awful. I mean, the fact that the defense knew that they were getting one opportunity in front of a home crowd, and they failed. They failed miserably. All right, tonight's show brought to you by the good folks over at Miller Electric. And they're hiring. They've been around for more than 96 years, consistently considered one of the top companies in Duval. No matter where you go, you see construction. It's because people want to live here. More and more people are finding their way to Duval. Miller Electric is hiring. You want to work with one of the best companies in town, whether you're already an experienced electrician or you're just looking to get into the field, go to Miller Careers. They believe in top-notch pay, outstanding benefits, and they have a culture where people actually enjoy working with one another. It's outstanding. Miller Electric. Check them out online. Just go to Miller Careers. Still in Denmark. How are you?
I'm excellent. I did not bet the Jags minus half a point in the first quarter, so I saved some money.
And the Philly Godfather threw that out. Yeah, I mean, man, that line really changed. It went to 5.5 before it kicked.
Wow. I didn't see that.
So a ton of money was dropped on Jacksonville. Again, if you bet on the preseason, I don't know. But anyway, the 6-game win streak in the preseason comes to an end at the hands of the Pittsburgh Steelers in a 31-25 victory. I look at it more as starters, and it was only Jag starters. I mean, there was a couple of offensive line starters in for Pittsburgh. I know there was one defensive player in for Pittsburgh, but that was basically it. They sat 20 guys out in this game. Right after the contest, I want to start with this. I want to dive in the first offensive drive because I thought it was really interesting, and I have a lot of thoughts on it. And again, I want to get an opinion from you on it as well. But let's first go to Liam Cohen. This is immediately after the game, and I went through what I always talk about here on the program. That is how the offense just can't do anything when they get the ball, their first possession. I said to Liam, I imagine when you got the job here, one of the first things you did when you went back and looked at tape is notice just how bad this football team was with their first possession offensively. And I, went through some of the good things and then obviously the bad with the penalties. Here's your head coach's response.
Yeah, we wanted to take the ball and, get the 1-0. We weren't going to keep them in very long anyway, and we just wanted to get those guys those reps. And I thought it was obviously, well executed in terms of the majority of it. And then the theme of the day showed up for us on that one drive, which was self-inflicted wounds. So you get the first play of the game, you get a false start, go backwards, overcome, move it forward, get a good screen to ETN, makes people miss. And then, we throw the screen to Travis. BT's got a pressed up corner. The guy, the nickel, he blocks and they call OPI. I didn't see the block in the back on Ezra there. So that puts us in 3rd and 12. And the thought was, hey, let's do a control pass here. Try to maybe get it to, if we could have got it to 3rd and 4, so we probably would have gone for it, or 4th and 4, excuse me. So every one of the skill players got a touch I was pleased with. Wanted to get everybody kind of a touch and involved. Was pleased with the 4th down conversion, for those guys. So that was good. It was some good stuff. But, yeah, we want to finish with a touchdown.
All right, that's after the scrimmage on Saturday. So let's dive into this a little bit because I think it's really important. They begin at the 33 after a Trammell return. Again, we went over at the top. You can't have a false start on 1st down. I mean, come on. You're a professional. I mean, that is just a complete lack of respect for your profession. Stop getting false starts. And again, is that all on Anton Harrison? Is some of that on Trevor Lawrence? I heard it both ways. Regardless, fix it. So now you're 1st and 15. Lawrence hits Thomas, to the 36 for 8 yards. And, that in itself was scary, man. I mean, the route, center field, taking a massive shot, worrisome to me. Actually, that was a little bit later on, the incomplete pass by Thornhill. But nonetheless, 2 attempts to Brian Thomas in this very first drive. ETN up the middle for 3. Sure enough, on 2nd and 7. 3rd and 4. Hunter, he slips. I think if he doesn't slip, as he's trying to, come back to the ball and turn right, if he doesn't, he easily picks up a 1st down. The problem is that he did not, and he was tackled. So then it's 4th and 1. And this is what is magnificent, is you run a jet sweep to Brown. And Diami Brown picks up 7 yards, and he picks up a 1st down. I'm conflicted about this because I'm sitting there watching saying, if you're going to go for it on 4th down, show that you have become or you are becoming a physical football team. Line up and run it and pick up a yard. And they didn't. So they do some razzle-dazzle and they go to a counter to Brown. But the other side of that is this is what Liam Cohen does. This is what he did in Tampa Bay. A ton of preset motion, a ton of screens, counters. This is all a part of it. So, even when they picked it up, I was like, well, do you have to use a play like that during the preseason game? I mean, that would have been nice to run during a 4th and 1 when you take on Carolina. See where I am with this? I was a little bit conflicted, but I think the end result for me was this is what Liam Cohen is going to do. And this is what his offense, is going to be about. All right, so then you had to pass it to Thomas. Then you hit Brenton Strange, who's had a really good camp. He has. ETN on 1st and 10 at the 40. And, hey, what does it say? ETN got all the reps with the first-team offense. No Tank Bigsby. It was all Travis Etienne. I will say this. It wasn't a good offensive day on this Monday for the Jaguars. They struggled. Trevor Lawrence today was 3 of 7 during 7-on-7s. He was 9 of 14 today during 11-on-11. He threw 4 really high balls. I mean, a couple of them, you would have needed Dikembe Mutombo to stand on the shoulders of Andre the Giant to haul it in. Why don't we go with a couple of local Hall of Famers? How about the A-Train, Artis Gilmore? Let's go with Harold Carmichael, standing on Artis Gilmore. Just some really high balls by Trevor Lawrence. These numbers, by the way, courtesy of my friend Gary Smits at the Florida Times Union. But back to ETN. 3 yards, but this was a miss. There was a gap open. And we expect that there are still going to be issues with this offensive line. Running backs have to have visibility. They have to know where the holes are going to be, and they've got to hit it. Now, it would be unfair for me to say that Bigsby bounces back and hits it, or Tootin, who had that phenomenal second half run. I mean, how tough was that with the offensive line going 10 yards? That was a lot of fun to see. But it's unfair for me to say that Tootin would have hit it, or any one of these running backs would have hit it, because I don't know. But my point is, this is incredibly competitive, and they've shown Travis Etienne the vote of confidence. Again, I thought he had a really good practice today. He stood out today for me, watching him both catch the ball and run the ball. He didn't get the job done here on 1st and 10 at the Pittsburgh 40. He's got to see that hole, and he's got to take it north and south. So that is a disappointment. Then you had a nice screen, a design screen. You notice how different the offense looks and the screens look? The screens with Press Taylor and Doug Peterson were of the desperation mode, right? It was basically the same thing. You're going to see so many different types of ways to get the skill position players the football. And then you had another pass to Hunter, right? But you had the illegal block in the back, and therefore you had to, end up settling after the short left pass to Washington. And then he hit Hunter once again for the field goal. So, you look at everything. Trevor Lawrence, 6 of 7. Trevor Lawrence spread the football around to 3 of his wide receivers, his tight end, a running back, and handed it off to Brown on that jet sweep. Every single one of your skill position players got an at-bat during that 12-play opening drive. Perfect scenario, you don't have penalties, you take it in for a touchdown. Still, let's be honest about this. It's better than before. Because and I know the Jaguars of a year ago would have gone 3 and out, especially starting 1st and 15 after the false start penalty. This is marked improvement. It was against backups. There was no pressure on Trevor Lawrence. There was obviously no sacks on Trevor Lawrence. I thought they did a decent job running. Again, I haven't looked at the All-22 film. I don't even know if it's out during the preseason. But the one mistake by ETN not cutting back, that's not the offensive line's fault. That's a veteran running back's fault. He's got to see that. Lawrence has got to be smarter about setting up Brian Thomas Jr. over the middle of the field, especially during a preseason game. And, overall, happy about the execution of this offense. Disappointed in the penalties. 3 penalties. I mean, you just can't have it. 2-on-1 play. So, that's what you got. And it'd be nice if the defense could step up and do their job on the other side, because if so, then you went out and did exactly what you were supposed to be. And I think the coaches would have been, fairly excited about what they did see. And so the defense gets gutted. The defense looked like a total lack of juice. And they also appeared to really be out of place. So that's something that they are going to have to take a serious look at. And as I said, I think tomorrow ends up being a really important practice on a Tuesday, as they are going to be in full pads. All right, we got much more to do. Let's begin to grab some of your thoughts on this, though. 641-1010, what you saw on Saturday night. Are you taking it just as a preseason game? And this is where it all begins. Obviously, some of you are not, because you've reached me via social media, whatever, text, and many of you were bothered by this performance on Saturday night. So let's continue looking at what happened during the scrimmage. Also sprinkle in what happened a little bit earlier today during the Jaguars' 13th practice during this training camp. That, of course, over at the Miller Electric Center.
60 days from now, you'll be one of these two guys. The first guy, sluggish, foggy, and feeling like he just can't keep up like he used to. The second guy, driven, strong, and confident. Why? MailXcel's breakthrough microdosing protocol, a daily low-dose testosterone. You don't have to be the first guy anymore. Be the second guy. Take the same steps he took. Try MailXcel.com. 100,000 men chose wisely. Your move.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
ET here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, you have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits. You have the right to choose your own doctor, too. And I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation, the auto accident experts.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Rock fans, get ready. Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs are rolling into the Florida Theater Thursday, August 14th. Founding member of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Mike brings raw rock and roll, killer guitar riffs, and that unmistakable edge. Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs. These are the best of times. Get your tickets now at floridatheater.com. Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs, August 14th at Florida Theater. Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's going to be a great week here in Duval. I think it's going to start to cool off, right? As far as the weather, I haven't checked it, never do. You been on the Doppler yet today?
I'm on the Doppler almost every day. So it didn't feel as hot today as it has in the last couple weeks. Low 90s.
Yeah.
The rain cooled it off a little bit.
Played golf early Saturday morning before the game, and I know we've had some rain around here in some places. I won't mention where I played, but you can't have cart path only on the weekend. You can't. Okay? You just say the course isn't available. I had to get out of there after 9. It was going to be a 6 hour and 20-minute round. And I just don't have time for that. So anyway, I would think rain would be good for golf courses, but I guess with the drainage, there's a couple places here in town that still really struggle with that. The 65-35 says, Ballou, how did Armstead hurt his back? Let me tell you right now, 65-35, that is only behind JFK and Jimmy Hoffa when it comes to the greatest conspiracies that we have dealt with in the last 75 years. I do not know what is going on with Eric Armstead, but they need him. I don't think anyone really stepped up on that interior defensive line on Saturday night. Really didn't see much from Devon Hamilton. Didn't see much from Tyler Lacey. Didn't see much with Jordan Jefferson. Didn't see much with the newly acquired player. Who am I thinking of? I don't even think he's on the roster here. Is it Johnson? Let me see. Yeah, he's not on the roster. Okay. But, I know he was in the game. Certainly didn't see much with him as well. So that interior defensive line, yeah, something has to happen. And hopefully the return of Mason Smith and the return of Eric Armstead is certainly going to be a huge part of that. Today's offense was not good. I highlighted Trevor earlier in the show in a non-padded practice. I think there were a couple of exceptions today. One of them for me was Travis Etienne. Had a really good day, both catching and running the football. Travis Hunter hauled in 4 of his 5 targeted passes. He had a good day today offensively, but that's really it as far as guys who stood out for me. Brian Thomas Jr., another disappointing day. There's no other way to say it. He had a ball come off his hands that ended up getting picked off by Jarian Jones. He was visibly upset once again, firing his helmet, throwing his helmet, and Edgar Bennett, the wide receiver coach, had to talk with him. This has been ongoing now. This is going into the start of week number 4. And this happened right out of the gate, and it's continued. And, he's such a mild-mannered guy. To see him kick the ball last week, and it went off a spectator, and the fire the helmet. First off, let me tell you, I have no problem with this. I love it. I love showing emotion. If he's upset, and I don't know if it's on him strictly, if the ball's not getting to him the way that he wants, if they're having problems with their route concept, I don't know what it is. I asked Trevor about it, last week? And Trevor had a very, very long answer about a new offense and getting on the same page. Whenever I talk about Brian Thomas, I end it with the obligatory, he's a better game day player than he is a practice player. But this is becoming really odd. He's having more, I think, inconsistent practices than he is having consistent practices. And if you look at the 2 new guys, Brown via free agency and Hunter, obviously the first pick of the draft, they appear to be on more, they appear to be on a much better page than right now with Brown and with Lawrence. So, that's something else. I talked about it on Friday. I was like, if the Jaguars were to sit any players out, the 2 guys I would have sat out were Hines Allen and Walker. Those are the two that I just really don't need to see. Now, we did see it. Walker said he played 7 plays, spoken a little bit earlier today. They disappointed, and it boils your blood. Well, those would be the two I would have set down. The other one that I thought of was Brian Thomas Jr. for the reason that I just gave you. He's a much better game day player than he's a practice player, but he is not on the same page with Trevor Lawrence, so he's got to play. You got to figure this out, unless you just believe that once the regular season begins and Carolina comes here, that these two are going to have a tremendous relationship or chemistry. Right now, it's been anything but. So that is absolutely alarming to me, in my particular opinion. A couple of other things I saw on Saturday night. That was today, by the way, during the Jaguars Monday edition of their practice. You can't have Logan Cook making tackles. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Special teams is a way to make the team. I asked, do we have the question I asked Liam Cohen today about the 53-man roster? Let's play this first, and then we'll get to actually, we got to hit a break here. Let's leave Liam Cohen until the other side, because I want you to hear this. But you've got to be kidding me. I mean, special teams are how you make this team. Who's going to be a part of the kickoff? Who's going to be a part of the punt? Who's going to be a part of the punt return, the kick return? We know the kickoff rules are screwed up anyway, but certainly punt. Your gunners, your 10 guys going down. You take arguably the best punter in pro football, and he's forced to make a tackle on special teams? That is awful. Okay? I mean, everything's about the 70-yard kick by Cam Little, and that's great. And Cam Little went 4 for 4. That's great. And we're so accustomed to letting everything go unless there's an issue. Well, here's one for you. What if Logan Cook got hurt? It's a preseason game and your punter has to make a tackle downfield? That's gross. Again, I look at complete, total lack of professionalism. Oh, they made a play, Ballou. They made a play. Screw that. These guys are trying to make the team. How does that happen? Logan Cook. And he depleted the kid, too. It was a hard hit. But come on. I mean, that cannot happen. And it did. Absolutely boiled my blood. It should have boiled yours as well.
Chelsea here from Renewal by Andersen. You've seen and heard our ads where I talk about Renewal by Andersen's exclusive Fibrix material, twice as strong as vinyl, incredibly energy efficient, and custom built to fit your home perfectly. But if you haven't reached out yet, August only, Renewal by Andersen is offering triple savings. $300 off every window, $825 off every patio door, plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0% interest for 12 months. Schedule your free consultation today at bestwindowsflorida.com. License number CGC 1527613.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit LeeandKatesGlass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be a 7-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit nimnickchevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right. Where do you go? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Upgrade her diamond ring this summer with no money down and 0 interest for 5 years. Don't miss this killer offer from Beard's Diamonds. 5 years, 0 interest financing till the year 2030. Not just on engagement rings, also on earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Buy now and pay nothing down and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. So that $5,000 gift comes out to just $85 a month. Beard's Diamonds is Jacksonville's locally owned source for exquisite jewelry. We can do things the big corporate jewelers can only dream of, like lowering interest rates all the way down to 0. All GIA certified diamonds are included in this. Rounds, princess cuts, ovals, pear shapes, cushion cuts, emerald cuts. Whether you get a $5,000 diamond or a $50,000 diamond, you can spread your payments over 5 whole years. Get the Beard's Diamonds unbeatable price. Pay 0 down and spread your payments over 5 years. But hurry, this is a limited time offer that ends August 31st and will not be extended. Beard's Diamonds, St. John's Town Center. Shop local. Shop Beard's. Unapproved credit, some restrictions apply. See store for details.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Do you want to get rocked?
Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Overreaction Monday. And it is on. Preseason mode, but an awful lot of panic. Even the best rest, and that is the case over at the Blue Crab Crab House. They'll be back at it tomorrow, and they'll be back at it the remainder of the week, but they get an off day here on Monday. 4:30 to 9 tomorrow night. Remember, Wednesday night, $1 steamed oysters. Wow. Just the thought of that. Talk about my blood boiling. It begins to simmer. You know, I can actually say something like, hey, Ballou, there's other things in the world that are important as well as Jaguars football. $1 oysters, as a matter of fact, at the Blue Crab Crab House. That is on Wednesday night, right off of San Jose, Julington Creek Road. Okay, what's up? I just flipped out about Logan Cook. And I would, I'll be the first to admit, there are certain things that bother me more than others, right? This really bothered me because I think we are so reactive. And when things go right, it's no big deal. When things go wrong, then everyone, is in an uproar. I mean, can you imagine in 4th and 1? Can you imagine if Diami Brown got caught in the backfield? And that was their only possession? I mean, just imagine what your reaction would have been like. I can feel it. It's why not run it? Run it right behind the guards. Pick up a yard. Isn't that what you want more than anything? Is some toughness, some physicality? Who's the back going to be? 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. And again, they did some razzle-dazzle, but that's also exactly what the Liam Cohen offense is. So you can look at it either way. But Logan Cook, I mean, for crying out loud, if I was Logan Cook, I'd punt the ball and run to the sideline in the preseason. In the regular season, it's totally different. But I did catch up with Liam Cohen, and again, to me, special teams, who can play special teams, is where you really fill the bottom of your roster. Today, I asked Liam if, at this point during training camp, this is where he expected to be with his 53-man roster, or has there been more surprises, and is there much more competition for those remaining roster spots?
Yeah, I think the games always help you a little bit just to see, okay, if there's guys that really stand out and shine in the game atmosphere that don't maybe get a ton of ops in practice. I don't necessarily feel like anything changed from the game from last week to now, but we still have 2 more opportunities to do so. So, yeah, I think you feel pretty confident about maybe 50 or so, and then there's a couple spots here and there that you feel like are going to probably go a couple more weeks.
I admire the transparency. I've asked this question many times over the years. I can't ever think of a coach who would ever walk down that line and say, yeah, 50, meaning there's 3 roster spots that are open. I mean, forever it would be, we're competitive, job, they try to sell. Remember Urban Meyer trying to sell everyone on the quarterback competition with Minshew and Lawrence, and coaches are just that way. These jobs are still, they're not. You know it and I know it. It's good to hear it. That he believes 50 roster spots are set. That leaves you 3. So, and you have to start to wonder as well now about the IR here on YouTube. Let's welcome those watching tonight, 1010XL into the night. Ask me about Buster Brown. Is Mississippi Mikey? I'm number 1 in Mississippi, by the way, if you're not aware of that. Know-It-All is asking me about Campbell. We don't know the significance of injuries, and that is commonplace around the league. They don't have to tell us until week 1 in Carolina, so they're not. But if you've been out for this long, then I think you have to also be realistic when you talk about Buster Brown, when you talk about Eric Armstead, when you talk about Mason Smith, when you talk about Cole Van Lannon. Those 4 in particular. How many are injured reserve possibilities when you set your 53-man roster, right? I mean, and we still have these new rules in place where you can pull guys out earlier. It's not like the IR once was. When you're placed there, you're gone for the remainder of the year. So I don't know. I've heard some whispers, but, I think out of the 4 that I mentioned, my belief, Mason Smith is the closest of the 4. That's my belief, okay? But I don't know about Armstead or Brown or Van Lannon. And, Van Lannon's that's an important role. He's a backup tackle. He's a swing tackle. I caught up with Wyatt Milm today. We're going to play that coming up next hour, give you an opportunity to hear from the rookie who I really like. I've interviewed him twice. I did back during camp over the summer. And, I caught up with him this morning. I really do get the feeling that, let's be honest, they're totally in the process of reconstructing this offensive line. And out of the guys they have there right now, how many are a major part of it moving forward? 2026, 2027. I think Wyatt Milum is absolutely an enormous part of that. So we shall see. If you're joining us for the first time, Anton Harrison was out today, personal reasons. So they went with Patrick McCarry at right tackle. McCarry did not play Saturday night. And Chuma Edoga at right guard. I think it's going to be hard to get Edoga out of there. I do. It just becomes where do you, could they really sit down Anton Harrison and play Patrick McCarry at right tackle? Fred Johnson, he's a walking penalty. What a bad camp for him. He had another penalty the other night, and some people believe that he was going to win that job. There's no way that he wins that left tackle job. But if that works out that way with Edoga, who sits down? Hainsey's not sitting down. I think Walker Little's set. I think Ezra. And we got plenty of practice left, and you got 2 games left. My understanding is that, and as we head to the top of the hour break, Liam Cohen today, when he met with us, didn't say anything about the availability of his starters Sunday against New Orleans? I would guess we'll get that answer on Thursday. They have a padded practice tomorrow, which is going to be a treat. That is going to be delicious. I hate getting up. There's nothing worse than getting up, okay? Getting up to me is worse than Logan Cook making a tackle on special teams. Getting up to me is worse than Anton Harrison on the first play of the season, a false start. But when you tell me they're going in full pads tomorrow, and you could just feel it, that I think tomorrow's going to be absolutely maybe the most spirited practice so far this year. We'll see. I'll be here tomorrow night to talk about it. Then they're off Wednesday, and then they're going to practice kind of like a scrimmage on Thursday, right? And I imagine they'll take pads off Friday and then fly to New Orleans on Saturday. But Liam Cohen said he does not know yet at all about what the starters are going to do, and that he expects to know that later in the week, so I would guess Thursday. All right, let's get ready for our second hour. Let's do that. 2 ways you can join us. 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also on YouTube, go to 1010XL Into the Night.
Tom McManus buckles his chin strap as he joins Lauren Brooks and Taylor Dahl for the new Helmets and Heels.
I just love a man in uniform.
Catch the pros' point of view afternoons 2 to 4 on 1010XL.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Florida Heat hitting like a heavyweight? Time to call in the champ. KO Electric and HVAC. We knock out the heat and power up your comfort. Fast, reliable, and undefeated in home service. KOElectricJacks.com. KOElectricJacks.com.
This Day in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 11th, 1991, American hero John Daly wins his first major championship after winning the PGA Championship at Crooked Stick.
E to the T here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find the scratch kitchen that comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Come on, somebody.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Football season is here, so I've got to get organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, wherever that clutter has taken over. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off this month only. Call 904-878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your national builder of the year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph has been a legend on-road. They've branched out to their off-road division as well. Give us the latest on what you can find on the asphalt.
They've got some great new products. They've got the Scrambler 400s you can get into for a little less than you might think. It's a great price point bike, but still a Triumph.
So affordability is also part of the equation.
It is, and it looks good, and it rides good.
CyclesofJacksonville.com, or check them out on their Facebook page, the showroom ready and waiting for you on Atlantic near Regency at Cycles of Jacksonville.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Eye & Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Caliber lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Hacker here. You know, those of you that have listened to me for years realize that I used to do a lot of different weight loss things, a lot of different things that I tried that just never worked for one reason or the other. And then Awaken 180 Weight Loss came along, and I heard Mike Dempsey and Matt Hayes talking about it, and I thought, you know what? What the heck? What do I have to lose? I'm going to give it a try. I had low expectations, to be honest, based on previous history, but I learned very quickly that Awaken 180 Weight Loss is the best weight loss program I was ever on. I dropped 19 pounds my first 2 weeks on Awaken 180 Weight Loss, went on to lose over 100 pounds total. I'm keeping the weight off with the Awaken 180 Weight Loss Maintenance Program. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, without a shadow of a doubt, is the best weight loss program I have ever been on, and the results speak for themselves. If it's time for you to lose some weight like it was for me, go to awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. You can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Texas, number one for the first time ever. Preseason AP poll came out a little bit earlier today. People don't like the preseason polls. I do. I mean, it puts college football out there. I'm going to get back to the Jaguars here in 1 minute. But college football has never been good about promoting their sport. There's just way too many lows. Where, of course, the NFL has you 12 months a year. I mean, they just inject it right into your veins. Texas got 25 first-place votes. Penn State, 23. So they're 1 and 2. Ohio State, 3 with 11 first-place votes. Clemson came in at 4 with 4 first-place votes. Georgia at 5 with 1 first-place vote. And then Notre Dame and Oregon, 6 and 7. Oregon, 1 first-place vote. You know what's amazing about this? I look at number 2, Penn State, number 4, Clemson, number 6, Notre Dame, number 7, Oregon. 4 of the top 7 teams, in my opinion, have no shot of winning a national title. That is what makes this sport, again, really criminal. With 150 teams, I think there are less college football programs who have a legitimate shot to win a national title than in the NFL, where there's only 32 teams. I think in the NFL right now, you can make a case of 8 to 10 teams. College football, my opinion, 3, maybe 4. Bama 8, LSU 9, Miami 10, Arizona State 11, Illinois at 12, South Carolina, Michigan, and Florida coming in at 15. 16 on, SMU, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Indiana, Mississippi, Iowa State, Texas Tech, Tennessee, Boise State. Feels like if there was ever a year to just be in a coma in college football, this would be it. Are you trying? I mean, SMU, Kansas State, Oklahoma's down a little bit at 18. A&M? I mean, A&M's Indiana? Iowa State, Texas Tech. So there you have it. That's your top 25. Anything stand out for you? That is where you thought they would be?
No, I mean, we got a coaches poll the other day, and, you know, it's usually pretty much the same when the AP comes out. I will say, I will ask you, you know, last year, every year there's teams in the top 10 that don't end up being ranked at the end of the year. Who in the top 10 do you think would that be if you had to bet one?
In the top 10 or top?
In the top 10. What team in the top 10 preseason do you think will be unranked by the end of the year?
Well, to me, the obvious one would be Alabama, LSU, just because those guys are all going to play one another. And I think you'll end up having a team with maybe 3 or 4 losses. So they would get knocked out. The other one would be Miami. If they, lose that Friday night game against Louisville, they don't play Clemson in the regular season. That'd be it for me in the top 10. How about you?
Yeah, I'd say the same. It'd be Alabama and Miami if I had to bet. I mean, I think they said the last 22 to 24 years it's been like that. A team or two ends up that's in the preseason top 10 that ends up not ranked. I didn't know that. We obviously remember Florida State a year ago, but I didn't know it goes back that far, but 20-some-odd years.
Last year, top 25 teams to begin the season and the preseason AP top 25 poll who finish unranked. Michigan began the year at 9. Florida State began the year at 10. Utah 12, LSU 13, Oklahoma 16, Oak State 17, Kansas State 18, A&M 20, Arizona 21, Kansas 22, Southern Cal 23, NC State 24, Iowa 25. 13 of the 25 teams a year ago in the preseason top 25 poll didn't end up being ranked in the top 25 when it was all said and done. Your point is spot on. But that's what's, I love the 12 team. I want a 16 team. Look what happened a year ago. You had a 7 against an 8 with Ohio State and Notre Dame. So the 12-team college football playoff, in my opinion, works. But I just don't know who you can point to and say, they're going to make a huge leap. I mean, where's that coming from? Is it Illinois at 12? Please. Not in our lifetime. Is it South Carolina at 13? Please. Not in our lifetime. Is it Michigan at 14? Maybe. Is it the Gators at 15? Can they navigate that? I mean, the way that schedule is, they go 9-3, they should make it, right? They've got a quarterback who is absolutely sensational, but, realistically, when you look at the injury concern, where they were a year ago at this time with Billy Napier and the schedule that they have, is that really going to happen? Who else? Can't see anyone. So
it would have to be a team that has a really good quarterback, like Cam Newton with Auburn 15 years ago. And it started unranked and then, went undefeated. Everybody's hopping on the Mateer from Oklahoma. They're saying he's a really good quarterback and could hopefully win the Heisman. So.
Well, he was great out west. That's the guy I wanted Florida State to make a run at. Instead, they got a guy I can't even see over the line of scrimmage. it's just so comical. It really is. I tell you what is not comical. That is dropping footballs. I think we saw again with Tank on Saturday night. He's not part of the passing game. Now, in this situation, everything was pre-designed as far as, at-bats and series. But he cannot be a part of that. And, it sounds easy for me to say. But defenses are going to be aware of that. I mean, there's no doubt after watching what happened on Saturday night that ETN is still the primary back in this offense. And because with what he can do with his hands, he is going to be that dynamic. The thinking would be when Bigsby is in, you don't have to worry about the screen. Tootin actually had a drop today, which was incredibly rare for him. He's got very good hands, and we saw what he did when he got his opportunity, including the toughness when it came to running the football. And it seems like every single day we see Quinn Allen make another really good football play, and many believe he's got the best hands in this Jaguars backfield. So that's the point of all this that is scary is. Tank should not be involved in catching the football. He should be a runner only. Defenses are going to know that. So they're going to leave him alone in some situations where if a screen is your designed call or if it is your last option, Tank's going to be open. When you have ETN out there, watch for the screen. Watch for that's going to be a part of the defensive strategy. And I would think that's going to be the case for the rookies if they get that opportunity. But it's not, it's not, unfortunately, for him. My buddy Tom over at the Blue Carb Crab House asking if DeJuan Smoot played the other night. He did play. He actually had a sack. And one of the few that, Jacksonville did have, they didn't do anything with their starting offense. And, how are they going to run that defense when they know they're in a passing situation? I would think that they're not going to have Josh Hines-Allen dropping back in coverage, that they're going to have him going after the quarterback, right? And is it going to be Smoot and Walker inside with Ogba on the edge? We don't know. They didn't going to show any of that on Saturday. Again, they were very vanilla as far as that style of defense. I haven't talked about Travis Hunter yet. 20 plays, 12 on offense, 8 on defense. He didn't get challenged defensively with a pass. As a matter of fact, Travis Hunter on that DeJuan Smoot sack, that was a coverage sack. Hunter had outstanding coverage deep in the secondary. He missed the tackle. All right, I thought there was some sketchy national reporting on that, saying he got run over inside. He didn't get run over. He got sucked in. He got sucked in, and then, the bounce outside by Caleb Johnson, Hunter could not get there. But he didn't get run over. He got sucked in. That's the best way to describe it to you. And I think that's going to be something that a lot of teams are going to try to do here. The edge is going to be so important. When you look at your outside linebacker and you look at safety help and, you look at your defensive lineman, because I think there's going to be offenses that are going to say, let's run right at Travis Hunter. See what he can do as far as his physicality. He had a good night. 2 receptions, 9 yards. But again, he was involved in that Smoot sack with his coverage. He is a workaholic. I think that'll be able to get fixed. The other side of it would have been intriguing to see a one-on-one, wouldn't it? Well, I guess we did. But, he took a bad angle. It would have been interesting to see a one-on-one situation with Caleb Johnson and Travis Hunter and how he handled that, being the only guy out there in space to make a tackle. Maybe we'll see that coming up Sunday in New Orleans. All right, we got much more to do. 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, to those watching on YouTube, 1010XL into the night.
Denny Thompson stars as the quarterback whisperer.
Everyone agrees that playing quarterback is the hardest thing to do in sports.
He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Tuned up by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
The boys are back in the kitchen.
Don't start the barbecue without me.
Joe, Matt, and Leon give you plenty to chew on during lunchtime. Freshly baked bread from the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
Thank you for lunch, boys.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Frank Franzi here for Coyle & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports memories. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in 1996? Well, you know who doesn't miss? Coyle & Sons Fencing. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821. That's 904-356-4821. Or visit CoyleJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coyle & Sons, keeping your business and home safe for nearly a century.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast, but Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, got a minute?
Always. What's on your mind?
This time of year, my air conditioner is running non-stop. Hot all day, hot all night. It has to run constantly just to keep up.
Well, that's what they do.
But if something happens to it in the middle of a 2-week heat wave, I'm in trouble, Jason. I can't wait 3 days or 2 days or even the next day for service. If you can't get someone here today, I'm sweating by tonight. What if it breaks, Jason?
You call me, pal. That's what we do. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
But you're probably swamped with calls from everyone else's AC that ran nonstop and then broke in a heat wave, so they called you because that's what you do.
But we always have room for an emergency. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we have techs standing by because we know these things happen.
So I don't need to worry. Wow. That time you calmed me down without even using the sunglasses.
Oh, I was reaching for them.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
As a law enforcement officer, safe roads are one of my top priorities, ensuring everyone can get home safely each day. Some never will, due to aggressive driving, being distracted, or speeding on the roads. And too often, that results in the toughest part of my job and the longest walk in my life. I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
9 people will be killed on our Florida roadways today. Don't let it be you or a person you love. Buckle up every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Did you know that basketball and volleyball were invented at the YMCA? That's right, and even today, the Y continues to lead the way in youth sports programming, from toddlers just starting out to teens ready to compete. The Y offers skill development, recreational play, and competitive leagues, all in a fun, supportive environment. Get your child in the game to build character and skills at the Y. Registration is now open for youth volleyball and soccer at fcymca.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Today's practice, no Tyson Campbell, undisclosed injury. Anton Harrison, a personal day, he was out. That is the very latest. Makari in for Harrison at right guard, or right tackle. Ed Oga, take what you want from Pro Football Focus, especially during the preseason. But, he graded out 91.6 during his 12 plays. Just incredible. Highest-ranked defensive player was Yasir Abdullah, who I still don't know if he's guaranteed to make the team. He's listed as a starter at outside linebacker. Dennis Gardeck is starting to get more involved. So, they took him off the pup. They've slowly brought him around, primarily individual work. But he's the guy I'm going to watch tomorrow. My understanding is that he, hopefully he's going to be able to participate in this full padded practice coming up on Tuesday. So that would be pretty cool to see. 28-35 Ballou. I'm pass only for ETN. Otherwise, it's 2.8 yards. This guy went from a couple of years ago where he led the NFL in yardage after tackles, and we all remember the statistic, 25% of the carries stopped at the line of scrimmage or prior to the line of scrimmage. Kind of got in the way. Again, he's had a really good camp, but he did make that mistake on his second carry on Saturday night with the hole open. He didn't see it. And you've got to see it, in my opinion. All right, let's get to Wyatt Milm, a youngster, right? West Virginia, guy who played tackle tackle at West Virginia, a guy who is considered around here to be a guard. We've seen him at left tackle, right guard, left guard. We've seen Wyatt Milm all over the football field early on in his career. I caught up with him today after practice number 13. All right, we start our fourth week of training camp here at the Miller Electric Center with rookie Wyatt Milm. Overall today, it looked like a lot of teaching. Liam Cohen kind of described it as a mind practice. How did it go?
Yeah, it went well. It was just watched some of the film this morning and just really just go through, make sure we get lined up fast, make sure all the communication is set before we snap the ball. So it was a good practice.
How's it gone for you now, a month in?
It's going good. I feel like I'm improving every day. Got a lot of work to still do, especially I've been switching positions, going from guard to tackle. So just getting my reps in there, but I'm excited and I can't wait for Sunday.
Blocking concepts, cadence, everything that you have to learn now coming from West Virginia to here to Jacksonville. What's that learning process been like?
You're just learning a new scheme. But I feel like just coming here, just working every day, just working on the same technique every day. Just really just focusing on that, making sure you get your hands on the defenders. So it's been great so far.
As you pointed out, you've been working in a variety of different positions. So I would think both, mentally and physically, it's taken a toll. How's it gone in your opinion?
Oh, I feel like it's good. And, I played tackle all
sure.
through college. So, and then as soon as I got here, I'll start playing guard. So I feel comfortable in both positions. So I'm just trying to improve every day.
When I went through and scouted everything that worked as far as coming into the NFL from the draft, one thing on you is that you're nasty. There's a mean streak.
Yeah.
That's been lacking around here for quite some time. How do you handle that role as a rookie? I'm sure you don't want to overdo it. You have others that lead by example, but how's that whole thing gone for you?
I feel like that's the way I approach the game. That's the way I played the game. So that's it. When I got here, I'm going to keep playing the same way that I've been playing. So that ain't going to change, but that's just the way that's just how I play the game of football.
Full pads tomorrow, and then Liam said that it'll be kind of a practice on Thursday where it's like a scrimmage. So just your thoughts on this week as you prepare for, going to New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm excited, just going up against great defenders every day, but just another week to get better. And it's a great opportunity to come out here and play some football, get the offense down, and just get ready for Sunday.
Last one for you, Wyatt. Is the most difficult thing to understand now, is it the speed of the game, or if not, what is it?
I'd say the most difficult is this, like when I first got here trying to get the offense down, but now I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with the offense. It's just really how good a technique you got to use every play. These defenders are pretty good, so you just make sure that you're on your A game every play.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Wyatt Milm, 6'6", 317 pounds. He's a rookie out of West Virginia, 23 years of age. I like him. I like him a lot. I wouldn't think that he would be counted on early. You never know what's going to happen in this game with attrition. He could find his way in midway through the year or towards the latter part of the year. But I just get the feeling that, he is a huge part of the future. And you can see that personality. You can see it, and it's going to come out more and more and more. But, this team needs some tough guys in there. And they need some guys that aren't going to allow opponents to hit their quarterback, right? Like they allowed a year ago when he was concussed. Call me whatever you want. But in my world, you do that to our quarterback, we're going to turn around and do something to one of yours. An eye for an eye. That's how I take it when you have a massive cheap shot like that. And that starts with your offensive line. Again, just ask yourself this. What would that offensive line have done if they concussed Mark Brunell the way they concussed Trevor Lawrence? Just ask yourself that. I mean, it's as simple as that. Night and day. And hopefully Wyatt Milm, I don't think he's going to be a part of it this year, but hopefully as early as next year. All right, let's grab a few of these on the text line. 4042, Ballou, why are the Jags so scared to bring in real competition for every position, especially quarterback? Panthers will win. Jags don't have a chance this year. I think they've done a really good job bringing in competition. Could they somehow, somewhere found some better offensive linemen? You can maybe make that case. I think the two best free agents who they have brought in that we have seen, Jordan Lewis has absolutely been, a star. Diami Brown has been really, really good. I think the tight ends have lived up to what is expected, with the second and third tight end. Edoga's the huge surprise, right? I think he makes it as far as the starting five. Hainsey, we'll find out once we get into the regular season. He's entrenched as your starter. So, Fred Johnson's been a disappointment. Makari, we just don't know. They spent good money on him. I think that covered just about everyone. Eric Murray, veteran safety. Going to be fascinating. Hey, Rick, I know it's not a football question, but that pen, that green pen you're holding in your hand, could you tell me who makes that pen? I'm a fanatic, please. This pen is actually a stolen pen from Montana, Red Lodge, Montana, the hotel called the Pollard. And I don't know if it's really stolen. I mean, they leave it in your hotel room. If you're spending like $1,000 a night to stay there, aren't you allowed to take a pen?
Yeah, or a Post-it note, or yeah. If it's loosely on the counter or the nightstand, you can take it.
It's not like I'm taking. It's not like I stole the robes. I thought about
the curtains or.
There's nothing I love more than a robe. I'm like Hugh Hefner. Actually, I'm not like Hugh Hefner. I think of myself more as like Ric Flair in a robe. But this was right downtown on their main street in Red Lodge, Montana. I actually may have an extra one.
Surprised you got the TSA.
If you find me out one night, I'll give it to you. What's up?
I'm surprised you got that through the airport. Buzzing off on a backpack. Like, we got something sharp in here.
Yeah. 52-62. How many real games lost because of awful defense before camp becomes the sacrificial lamb? It's a fair question. I'm really surprised at how poor they were on Saturday night. I also would love to say they did some things that they're not going to do in the regular season. I understand that people get tired of hearing about a vanilla-style defense. I thought in practice the defenses looked good. I thought in the ditch they have been ahead of the offense. And, the two that stick out are obviously Hines Allen and Walker, both very good. But the linebackers didn't play especially well. Lloyd missed a gap, and he's been so strong in run coverage. We know he can't cover. Loicon, I mean, why the hell did they ever move him out of middle linebacker a year ago? They're pros, so I don't want to say things that perhaps are not true. But where the hell was the fire, man? They looked flat. I mean, you come out, you got a home base audience of what, 50,000+. You're getting one drive. You laughed. What do you think? Is that low?
The text line.
Huh?
Something you said.
I
the text line.
50,000+. I thought you like Blues rocking on the fan. I'm not rocking on the fans at all. It's a preseason game. I thought the stadium actually did a really good job for a preseason game. But it just felt like, you know what it felt like? And this always drives me crazy, okay? You hear about these college football players who get up at the crack of dawn, they work their off, 345, 350 days a year. And then you bring in a directional school, and they're not ready. You know what I'm saying? They're just not into it. There's no juice. They're not motivated. Maybe their mind's on a huge, conference game coming up next week. You see that a lot in it almost felt like that's the way the Jaguars were on defense the other night. They knew they weren't facing starters outside of a couple on the offensive line for Pittsburgh, but they just didn't look like they were ready to go. And that's disappointing. 53-51 Blue. So Tyson is hurt again. This is ridiculous. He played like 2 drives. He played 1 drive. But yeah, he's hurt again. And don't kid yourself. That is enormous. That is huge. He has had a good camp, Tyson Campbell. He's been very active, very vocal. There's been some great battles between him and Hunter, between him and Brown, between him and Thomas Jr. I hope he's okay. I do. If you're missing us or if you're with us for the first time, he was out today. Christian Braswell was actually the starter opposite Jarian Jones. It was an offensive day for Travis Hunter. Liam Cohen was asked about that and injuries. Would it have any effect on Hunter, offense, defense? You know, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said no, at least for the time being. I think I'd like to see Hunter on defense tomorrow. Actually, I'd like to see Hunter do both tomorrow. How does that sound? I would. All right, let's come back. We got much more to do. Look at all these questions coming in. I appreciate it, as always. 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime and Coaches. I try to answer as many of you as I can, but on nights like tonight, we are just jam-packed. Also, to those on YouTube, thank you as well. 1010XL into the night.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
Rock fans, get ready. Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs are rolling into the Florida Theater Thursday, August 14th. Founding member of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Mike brings raw rock and roll, killer guitar riffs, and that unmistakable edge. Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs. These are the best of times. Get your tickets now at floridatheater.com. Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs, August 14th at Florida Theater.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now. It's Renewal by Anderson's Triple Savings Month. Get $300 off windows and $825 off patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires August 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
As a contractor, finding reliable subcontractors is key to project success. Prosser here. Guys, that's where Lloyd's Heating and Air shines. Not just your mechanical HVAC experts, but your partner, understanding every facet of construction to keep your project on track. Lloyd's will spot issues early before they cause delays. If you're a contractor with a need for reliability, visit LloydsHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air, keeping you comfortable in every season.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
The Coke Zero Sugar 400 returns as the NASCAR Cup Series regular season finale. Answer this question for a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 August 23rd. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010 for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400.
After our son's shoulder issues were worsening, we took him to see Dr. Snyder at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, who recommended PRP treatment. We trusted Dr. Snyder's evaluation and look forward to seeing him pitch again. For the right care, the best care, we highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, some folks are vocal on YouTube, and I love it. Notice I'm responding now on YouTube. Thank you, Dylan. A lot of concern there. You can check it out. Go to 1010XL Into the Night, only on YouTube. The text line is a given. It is blowing up on what we will call an Overreactions Monday. Man. And, yeah. Saturday, I did the interview with Liam and involved with the press conference there with the local media after the game, and didn't go into the locker room after the game because I just didn't. I didn't think there was going to be a lot to get from starters, only getting one rep. So I went back to the vehicle and slid out of town. There was no traffic or anything. That was easy to... No, I'm just kidding, man. I don't know what to tell you. They're building. I mean, it's, the long run, man. It's going to be awesome when it's all said and done.
Was it what you thought, or was it worse than what you thought?
Well, there was no problem getting out of the parking lot because it was probably an hour after the game.
Okay. So a lot of people had already left by then.
I'm just surprised at the way that they block off so many one-ways out of town. I'm sure someone designed that and orchestrated it, and the architect, that when it feels like a third grader designed how to get out of there. That's the only thing I just don't understand. And I know it's a lot harder than it appears, but I basically had to go through like a maze to get out. I guess it would be, I've never been good on East-West.
Bay Street?
Nah, I never got anywhere near Bay Street. But okay. I kept trying to get to Bay Street and had to cut, here and there. I ended up going by the Florida Theater. I think that's Forsyth,
yeah,
maybe.
It's Forsyth.
But then I would run parallel with that, going the other way. It was kind of a maze, if that makes any sense.
Gotcha.
But who am I to complain? They're working hard. And we trust our the future leaders here to get this correct. 2887 Blue. I hope we get Buster Brown back soon. This room needs him. Campbell is overrated, in my opinion. Have a great show. Certainly is overrated if you look at the amount of money he's making. There's no argument about that. He's the highest paid non-Pro Bowl corner in the history of the game. And I think he's had a really good camp. I hate the fact that he is injured right now. That is not good. 0903, Rick, a move here from Kansas City. Always be a Chiefs fan, and I'm following the Jags. One thing I find noticeable is Kansas City has leaders that kept other players in check. Specifically Mahomes. I'm kind of surprised that Lawrence doesn't want to step into that role as the quarterback. He should be the voice, and he needs to step up and hold others accountable, including himself. Well, that's been an ongoing conversation here in 5 years. Year one, he gets a pass. It was Urban Meyer. And it was a disaster. And I was a sideline reporter at that particular time on the Jaguars radio network, and I noticed it, and I was alarmed by it to the point that, the following year and years, when I would go to Charlotte for the Atlantic Coast Conference football meetings, my sit-down with Dabo Swinney, my sit-down with Virginia head coach Tony Elliott, the former offensive coordinator, with Trevor at Clemson, was all on Trevor in leadership. I've wondered about this since day one. He's not a fire in your belly, yeller type leader. That's not him. I asked them last week about the confusion, the frustration, between him and Brian Thomas Jr. And he just took us through a very long-winded, relaxed answer. I don't think you can force people to be something that they're not. I mean, can people change? Can they become more of a leader? Maybe for a short period of time. Well, I'm always one of those who believes no matter where you are, whether it's, this workplace where I'm at or your workplace where you're at, I mean, leaders rise to the top, whether you like it or not, whether they do a good job for you or they become a pain in the ass. Leaders are noticeable. And I really believe that the attempt is there. I think it's soured completely with Peterson and Taylor. I frankly think they didn't give a hoot. But understanding Liam Cohen, the early part that I do get from him as a former quarterback himself at the University of Massachusetts and all his roles as a coach, that, you got to bring that out of Trevor Lawrence. I mean, we had the conversation. Again, I asked Liam Cohen, you go back to last Tuesday's practice. It was absolutely terrible by the Jaguars. It was brutal. They had 5 offensive penalties. And they came out on Wednesday early, and it was still a little bit bad. Then they finally turned around. They had a really good practice on Thursday. And I asked Liam Cohen, I was like, did someone step up? Did someone from that offense, take this football team and say, we can't do this anymore? Or, and I said it right to him, I said, was it great coaching? Did you guys? And he said he challenged them in a meeting because that's fair. I mean, the defense didn't play well Saturday night, but the defense has leaders. If it's not Trevor Lawrence, who is your leader on offense? Again, who is it? Who's the leader on offense?
Well, they got to be a leader by example because nobody's really outspoken. Brian Thomas Jr. is not outspoken. Travis Hunter just got here. You look at the line, Anton Harrison's not an outspoken guy, doesn't look like it. It can't be Walker Little. I have to be Hainsey, I guess, for the time being. But, that's not, you would want it to be one of your better players, to be one of your leaders. Hainsey's the guy that's been, in the Liam Cohen system. So I guess it'd have to be Hainsey if I had to pick one.
I don't think they have one. I don't think they have a leader on offense right now. That's not Brian Thomas's strength. It may be Hainsey's a brand new free agent. Brand new guy. Okay, the veterans on your line are Cleveland, Little, and Harrison. Are any one of those 3 what you would consider a leader? Is ETN a leader? Is Tank Bigsby a leader? Is Brenton Strange a leader? I'm not going to dismiss them as role players. They're starters. They're contributors. But look at Kansas City. Look at the leaders that Kansas City has had. A very successful program that, is measured by winning Super Bowls. But look at on the offense and the defense. Players who lead by example and also lead as being, very vocal when the opportunity presents itself. I think Jacksonville has leaders on defense. Right now, if it's not Trevor Lawrence, and that is absolutely something that remains out there for us to see. Maybe year 5, the light goes on. He really does he's improved, but it's still not where it needs to be. Winning can help that tremendously. You start winning games and you have more confidence to perhaps become a leader and jump on others when things go bad. But when you're losing and 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 losing, it's tough to be a leader. If not Trevor Lawrence, I don't know who it's going to be.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Rest-A-Pros.
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Rest-A-Pros.
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to restaprosneflorida.com. That's restaprosneflorida.com.
Rest-A-Pros.
Finding the right plumber to reline your cast iron pipes doesn't have to be a stressful experience. When you hire Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, you can rest assured you're getting the best in the industry. At Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, we're so confident in our work that we encourage you to get multiple estimates. Look at each company's reviews and check the scope of their pipelining work to make sure it's what you're expecting. But at the end of the day, make the superior choice. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Request a free estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has 2 epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread, last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
If a birthday or an anniversary is looming in your future, take care of it today by ordering a floral arrangement online at CuneFlowers.com. Hi, Flying Jacko here. Take it from me. An arrangement from Cune Flowers works like magic.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, letting you know that Hardball now offers web stores, so your employees can order their own branded gear, and you have more time for Wordle. Check it out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
What Major League Baseball teams have never won a World Series?
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
There are 5 Major League Baseball teams that have never won a World Series: Colorado, Milwaukee, San Diego, Seattle, and Tampa Bay.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
This is Hayes Carlyon for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. The online banking services are outstanding. So easy to use. Depositing checks through the mobile app is fast and efficient. I also go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family's secret, Dandy is never frozen. Always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses. No dry, crumbly subs here. Only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little guy with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand and a quality sandwich. So do what I do. Stop in at a Circle K and make yours a Dandy today.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 87.
Jacksonville back at it after their Saturday night preseason loss to Pittsburgh, 31-25. Day 13 this morning at the Miller Electric Center. No pads. A major focus today, 40 plays worth. Liam Cohen, what they would do is line up 11 on 11. They'd call a play. There were times that play would be changed. They'd snap the ball, and the officials would immediately blow the whistle. It was about understanding where you're supposed to be, understanding the cadence of Trevor Lawrence, and hopefully fixing what has been a problem as of late, and that is false starts, what have you, offensive penalties. There were 8 penalties in the game this past Saturday night. So, they worked with that. Overall, it was kind of a spotty day. Gary Smith's telling us that the Florida Times it was the worst day so far passing for Trevor Lawrence, 3 of 7 during 7-on-7. First time they had done that in a couple of weeks, 7-on-7. 9 of 14 during 11-on-11. He sailed 4 balls. Brian Thomas Jr. really frustrated, dropped the ball, ended up being an interception by Jarian Jones. Thomas Jr. fired his helmet, had to be talked to by Edgar Bennett, the wide receiver coach. Brian Thomas Jr. remains frustrated. It has not been a good camp for him. He's been very inconsistent. Anton Harrison out, personal reason. Patrick McCarry, your starter at right tackle. Tyson Campbell injured. An undisclosed injury. Christian Braswell got his spot opposite Jarian Jones with Travis Hunter being on offense today. Travis Hunter had a good day today. He caught 4 of the 5 balls thrown his way. I also thought Travis Etienne had a very good day today. The text line and YouTube is dominated by a lot of people getting on Tyson Campbell. You knew this was going to happen again, yada, yada, yada. I wish I knew more. But that is that. Final email or final text before we get to Hacker Nation. Hey, Rick, Liam said there's no update on Eric Armstead. Just convincing me more that he's getting traded or released. Just seems off. Thoughts on that? Definitely off. But they can't get anything for him, I don't think. And they're not gonna say goodbye to him. I mean, this team already spent more than $13 million apiece to say goodbye to Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, as well as Brandon Sheriff. They have a dead cap figure right now, dead money, $64,751,000. I mean, this team paid Sheriff $13.8 to go away, Kirk $13.6 to go away, Ingram $13.5 to go away, Roy Robertson Harris $7.7 to go away, Gabe Davis $5.7 to go away, Devin Duvernay $3.8 to go away. It goes on and on and on. They're not going to do that to Armstead. But you can write a script, and it could be everything from the man bounces back and has a real good season, which I kind of forecasted, or it's a repeat of a year ago and he does nothing. And I think any of that would be believable at this point when you talk about Eric Armstead.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Did you find yourself begging for the mic Saturday night with no fifth quarter?
Yeah, it would have been nice to do a fifth quarter. Had a lot of thoughts. I actually thought I toned it down on Twitter. I'm growing and I'm maturing during these Jaguar games. I thought offensively, I had very little problem with the exception of the drops and the penalties.
Yep.
I liked the play calls. I liked a lot of the execution. The 4th and 1 end around to De'Ami Brown was very different than what we're used to seeing here. I had very little issue with the offense. The run defense I thought was okay. The pass defense was atrocious.
Yep.
There's no other way to sugarcoat it. It was terrible. When Skylar Thompson lights you up and when Mason Rudolph goes through your starting defense like a hot knife through butter, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they were playing vanilla. Maybe, it was no blitzing and none of this, and that's fine and great. But I didn't see a lot of defenses getting torched for 3 touchdowns by a 4th-string quarterback either in the NFL preseason this week.
What do you think about today's practice, including that 40-play, just take the snap and blow the whistle?
Honestly, I think Cohen was pissed about Saturday, about the execution, the lack of penalty. I mean, he even talked about it in his press conference. They basically went to the line and made sure the cleats were in the ground, I think is what he said.
Yeah.
And everybody was lined up properly because he's tired of false starts and delay of games and 12 men on the field. I mean, he said it in 3 or 4 press conferences straight. Penalties, penalties, penalties. I think Liam Cohen, I've said this since really OTAs, you're going to know what he thinks. Doug Peterson was kind of like ho-hum, Doug Marrone was kind of aloof at times. Urban Meyer just didn't care, apparently. You're going to know what Liam Cohen thinks very quickly when he gets in front of a microphone. He's not going to hide a lot of stuff.
No, and he's expressive. He's transparent, which I really do enjoy. He answers questions, and that is a part of him that I really do like. All right, so I imagine you've got a lot, not only on today, but what you saw on Saturday.
Yeah, just tons of thoughts. My Jaguar training camp one-on-ones with Hunter Long, the only player that James Gladstone brought with him from Los Angeles. And I haven't talked to Hunter Long before today. I enjoyed the conversation, so we'll play that coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. Also, Daniel Griffiths, who's all about the analytics, the number crunching. I know you've had him on many times. We'll have Daniel on tonight to kind of go through some of those things. And the coach, Gerald Ingram, will join me. 18 years as a running back coach in the NFL. We'll get his take on everything he saw Saturday night in the preseason opener.
Sounds good. I'm going to be catching up with Gerald Ingram as well coming up this week, so I look forward to that. Have a blast.
Thanks, Rick.
That's Hacker. He's coming up right now. It's going to do it for us. Appreciate you on this Monday. Do you want to thank Wyatt Milm for getting a few minutes of his time to come in and talk about how things have gone. Thank you again. What an unbelievable night on both YouTube at 1010XL Into the Night and on our text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Tried to answer as many as I can, but it's just been incredibly busy tonight. We got much more to do tomorrow. I think, for what it's worth, tomorrow's practice could be one of the most intriguing ones yet. Full pad scheduled for Tuesday. And again, you get the sense that the coaching staff right now is not happy. So I think that will make for some excitement. I'll talk with you then. For Dylan Denmark, I'm Rick Ballou. Have a great night.